Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to another Court Martial podcast live stream. Low quality, once again, low budget. That's what we do. I am your Colonial Champion, Sean McCarty. We have a match of the week right here, right now, today. The link is in the live chat. So if you are going to see the replay of the live chat or the live chat you are in currently right here, right now, you can check that out. I wanted to show you this because we are going to watch a great matchup today. Hulk Hogan versus The Undertaker, the WWE Championship match from Survivor Series 1991, because everyone else is hopping on that bandwagon of the fantasticness that is The Undertaker's 30-year career. And of course, he did his final goodbye, which I'll talk about Survivor Series in a second. But, he just did his final goodbye. Everyone's celebrating The Undertaker. They just put a bunch of content on YouTube. So I figured, me too. So I'm going to jump in on this, and we are going to watch ourselves a great matchup, I believe, between Hogan and The Undertaker. This is early Undertaker, real early Undertaker. He was only there. This was the 1-year anniversary. And this match, it's old school WWE, so there's still a lot of the WWE over-the-top cartoonish format to it, but, still, with a gimmick like The Undertaker, there was no one who could have done that quite like Mark Calloway. I mean, he absolutely was terrific at it, and now that he's kind of breaking kayfabe and kind of opening up a little bit more about it, it's cool to be able to look back at these with a little bit of reverence and respect, obviously, to a hell of a career. So I'm excited for that. Survivor Series 2020, this is the situation. So our sister channel, Josh Again, we are going to be watching and reviewing the show. We just have not gotten a chance to watch it yet. So we are going to watch it, and we are going to record and do that review next week. That is myself, Skyler Greenberg, the semi-host, not fully co-host, but semi-host of the Core Martial podcast. He's going to be there. Josh Again's going to be there. And of course, I'm going to be there. And we're going to have a full-fledged, really funny, haha, make a lot of laughs, and a lot of fun observations about Survivor Series 2020 there, which the link will be in the description next week when that gets released. This week, on this live stream, because my laptop is still getting fixed, so we are still doing everything on live streams, at least for now. We will be moving back to the regular format once I get everything taken care of, and hopefully that will be pretty quick. But until that time, under the orange lighting, we're going to be doing the Core Martial podcast this way. So Friday night at 8:00, you are going to be hearing from yours truly, and you are going to hear my thoughts and my thoughts alone about Survivor Series, the one unedited, unfiltered hot take, the one the uninterrupted brain flow of your Colonial Champion, Sean McCarty. It is going to happen here live. It is going to be Friday night, 8:00. Stay tuned for that, because it's going to be a doozy. But until then, we've got this match to watch. Now, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to watch this on the same laptop that I'm doing this, and hopefully the stream will not glitch out, but I'm not sure. So if it looks like it's getting sketchy, I'm going to switch over to a different device, and we will cross that bridge when we reach it. Now, when we get a little bit further into this tonight, we are going to bring Skyler back into the fold, back into the mix, and he is going to give us his take on the Roman Reigns Drew McIntyre match that he had set up for NWL that got cut off, which, by the way, just as an explanation for what happened there, the feed cut because my Wi-Fi crapped out, which was no mas. We were very sad. And instead, we are going to put that on the stream tonight. So you're going to hear, after we watch this match, Skyler come in and give us his thoughts. So without further ado, let's get into this thing. So you're going to watch an orange Colonial Champion, give my take on this matchup. And of course, we're going to start at 0-0-0. I'm going to full screen this, and if you're ready, I'm ready. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Undertaker. Undertaker in the house. There we go. Paul Bearer. But we need to do a discussion on Paul Bearer. He is truly a tremendous manager from start to finish. I always liked him, what he did. He had some run in TNA that I liked as well. But look at the Undertaker's demeanor. Showing a kid, Kevin Dunn showing a kid with a sniffly nose. How does that help? Once a done, always a done. Random kid. Oh, at least that kid saw he was getting filmed and got amped. Oh, they got that Hulkamania casket there. Gorilla and Brain, great combination. Great combination. Although I was always more partial to Gorilla and the Body. I always liked Jesse and Gorilla a little bit more than I like. I mean, Bobby's fantastic, don't get me wrong. I just thought the dynamic between Gorilla and Jesse was better. Oh, wow, what a pop. It comes crashing down and it hurts inside. You know, I was just thinking about this. There may not be a better theme song for that matches the personality of a guy so well than Real American is for Hulk Hogan. As far as the gimmick, that was and by the way, that was a great song recorded by Rick Derringer, which on Spotify there is a playlist. I want to hype it up, but there's a playlist called I Am a Real American. All caps. Oh, Hulk just threw the casket. Hulk just threw the casket. Not happy with the casket. Not happy that the casket was brought. Undertaker doesn't even know how to react to that. Wow. And Hulkamania was, at this point, was still running wild. But at some point, we need to do a match of the week with the AWA. Oh, the talk of Ric Flair. Right, Ric Flair must have had probably just debuted, right? He must have debuted. Oh, Hogan just throwing the belt at Earl Hebner. Christ. All right. Young Earl Hebner. Unless that's Dave, but I'm pretty sure that's Earl. It might be Dave. Both men approximately the same size. I was going to do the blacklight setup for The Undertaker, but you would not have seen me at all. I mean, the graphics are pretty bad on this laptop as it is. And to add different color dynamics would have really thrown it. Everybody is focused on this. Oh, collar and elbow. Nice collar and elbow. Oh, yeah, the standoff. Wow, Taker that was a pretty quick run for Taker, too. You forget, advertisement. Oh, it's a New Day advertisement. Hey, New Day. All right, I'm cool with New Day. Fine. It's wrestling related. I'm fine with it. Annoying, but I'm fine with it. New Day are in Gears 5. Congrats to them, by the way. Because that's pretty awesome. That's cool to have a modern team like that. I mean, for as much as Austin Creed is a pretty prolific gamer in the sphere, so to have Gears of War go in on the WWE guys, I dig that. I do dig that. That's pretty cool. And out of there immediately before the Undertaker could take advantage of it. The true mark of a coward. True mark of a champion. Hogan leaves the ring, and Bobby Heenan, what a coward. I love it. See that? There is no better. I think the dynamic between Bobby Heenan and Hulk Hogan is something worth really appreciating because the way that Bobby would act and behave towards Hulk Hogan was always consistent for years and years. And then when he had that, you know, when Hogan turned, it was perfect for him. It was perfect for him and for what he was going for. Undertaker just with a choke. Just with a choke. There's the thumbnail. There's the thumbnail. Unless I chose a different thumbnail. But it's that choke one that they have on the thumbnail of this video.
He's never in that ring alone. The Hulkamaniacs all over the world are in there with him. Well, he's going to need all of them to beat The Undertaker. There's not enough Hulkamaniacs walking this earth to turn Hulk in tonight. Undertaker trying to rip off the face of the Hulkster.
I wonder if when Vince first met Undertaker, the first thing that Taker told him was like, I can roll my eyes the back of my head. And he was like, oh, we got something perfect for you. And then they gave this Kane the Undertaker. Yeah, that's crazy. It's not Velasquez, it's actually Kane the Undertaker was the name. For those of you who do not know.
Hogan hasn't launched much of an offense since he entered that ring, has he? He's been taking a beating.
Oh, and look at the interference from Paul Bear. Oh, Bear.
Your brain went out.
You know, I like Percy Pringle cutting the old school like Southern promos as much as anybody else, but honestly, you want to talk about perfecting gimmick. The fact that Percy Pringle Paul Bearer was such a genius gimmick for a manager, especially for someone like The Undertaker. You know, as ridiculous a gimmick as it was, I still.
Clothesline City. Oh, he didn't knock him down. Hulkster going for a slam now. He couldn't slam him. Hulkamania's got monster. Wait, I can feel it. I can see it.
Hogan is raking the eyes. Hogan is being a bit of a dick. But his charisma. See, he's raking the eyes again.
You cannot hurt The Undertaker. Rammed headfirst into the corner.
Oh God, the cameras in this era, like the lights keep like zooming back and forth. It's like irritating to the eyes.
I tell you what, he's rocking and reeling right now, Brain. Hulkster with a clothesline 360.
Well, what a slow clothesline, but still, the effect of him just landing on his feet. I'm not listening to this. I don't care about Adina Menzel or whatever you're doing. I don't care. Yeah, but just the clothesline over the top and then Taker just standing up. And the reaction that just standing up from that gets. Modern wrestling doesn't have that anymore. And that's what's missing, is the little stuff. They do too much big stuff. So there is no more big stuff anymore.
Face first right into the steel steps. That hurt. He draws power from that hurt. There's something in there that motivates this man.
I love Paul Bearer. I love Paul Bearer. He's so good. He is honestly so good.
By The Undertaker, and that tattoo he has on his arm. You know what that's a tattoo of? Yes, the Greenberg.
And just more choking. Undertaker did a lot of choking back in the day. That's kind of his thing. I don't know why. I'm not sure why that wasn't a disqualification. Or having to recounted it 4 times. Maybe Hogan got to the ropes. Or maybe it done. Oh, and then Paul Bearer again. Choking. A lot of choking. Lots and lots of choking. All of the choking. And the fact that really Hogan has not gotten any offense in is intriguing, just because of who Hogan was and how Hogan. Hogan would usually start up pretty strong. He'd go right out of the gate. Hogan would right out of the gate. Hogan would look good, and then the heel would take over. But this is an interesting one because look at the guy dressed as Hulk in the booty shorts in front, trying to rally people up. Oh, wrestling fans. Didn't matter what year it was.
It's easier to hold on to the title than to win it. Because you got the disqualification rule, you got the count-out rule, and anytime Hogan wants to take the Howard's way out, he knows he can do it.
And a chant for Hogan.
Just ignore it. I can't hear you. I see your lips move. Good.
I can't hear you. I see your lips move.
I can't hear anything. You people will have to bear with me. I'm working without a net. Bucks are in a whole lot of trouble. Undertaker with that claw.
It's the claw onto the face of a claw. A claw. Think about that. Have you ever seen anyone in modern day wrestling just sell a claw, just a hand to the face? Undertaker could pull it off. There was a time, but I think that ship has sailed because everyone's chosen the gymnastics route instead of just basics and slowing everything down. And I mean really slowing everything down. Not doing acting, but just slowing things down. Paul Bear is the best.
Doesn't tell you what the percentages are in the record book, only whether you won or
Oh, here we go. Another advertisement. All right, we got about halfway through. Something about golf. The advertisement is for something that involves, shaving. It's for shaving. You use it to use razors. It's a thing that you use for shaving. Buy it. Undertaker's back.
Look at that, Monsoon. He has no eyeballs. He's sick.
Yeah, another thing that's missing in wrestling, the three hands going down instead of just the one. Doing the three, I honestly think the three is more effective. Because then, did they miss it? Did Kevin Dunn miss it? Oh, he missed a finger wag.
He's on his feet. That bump on their feet. Boxer fights it off. Kicks down into the front basket.
This is the flurry, right? Because Hulk's got to take back over here. He's trying, but this is definitely the flurry. Yep, clothesline that did not really connect that well. But the point remained. But that did not look like it connected very well. It honestly looked like all that actually connected to Hulk was like his wrist.
He's too cold to sweat. You have to have blood poured. I've never seen it perspire.
You can see how much Taker tanned. Look at the inside of his jacket, like right there. Totally different skin tone. Taker really tanned for this. Wow. Taker was going to... did Hulk really have to no-sell the tombstone after all of that? After all of that? I know that Taker's probably going to win. I think Taker wins it at this one. But still, it's like... Still. Did he have to no-sell the tombstone? Couldn't he have just kicked him to a regular Hulk up? I'm just saying. See, this whole See the fact that everybody just pops for him going down to a knee. Oh, here comes Flair. Here comes Flair.
What business does he have down there? Well, you better talk to Mr. Perfect about that. Or talk to Ric Flair. I don't know. I mean it. I really don't know.
Paul Bearer getting involved. Paul Bearer getting involved. And the one and only punch, basically, to Ric Flair from Hulk Hogan. This.
He never got involved in the match. What business does Flair have down there? I don't know, but he doesn't deserve to be struck.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair for Bobby's part.
From the outside, it's Paul Bearer grabbing the leg of the Hulkster. Oh, referee's lost control of this one. Look at this. Flair with a chair. Let's see it. He got Paul dropped right into the steel chair. Wait a minute. One, come on. Two, get out.
Got him. Undertaker got him. I forgot how much Flair was involved in that. And that's the first time that Taker wins the belt. Okay. I'm going to get real smarky on this here, I think.
This is horrendous. 3 guys in top. It took the Undertaker, and Ric Flair to beat Hulk Hogan. Hulkamania is dead. It is dead. Long live the Undertaker.
I guess I'm okay with that. Okay, I don't care who you are. Get off my phone. Even though this is a live stream. Okay, here's my thoughts on this. So Hulk Hogan, I know that Hulkamania was still going kind of strong, but it was gonna start fading in 92, and then when Brett was going along, and then steroid trial in 93, by the time, it had kind of run its course, WrestleMania 9 and all that, where, yeah, it got the pop, but But I understand it's Hulk Hogan, and it's got to take everything in a bag of bricks to take Hulk Hogan down. You got to throw the entire stable of roster on him. To me, I understand Flair was doing the I'm the real world champion involvement thing, but I don't know. Maybe this felt a little overbooked for my liking. I know that this is I get it. I get why they did it, and it worked, I think, long term, except that we never got the matches that we thought we were going to get. But had this been the program that it was supposed to be, and Hogan and Flair did have the match that they all wanted. I have a theory about that. And I could be wrong, but we'll get to that in a second. But had we gotten Hogan Flair at WrestleMania 8, I think it was, in 92, that would have made this whole thing worth it, because it would have probably been understood that Undertaker was going to work with that championship for at least a little bit until I think he lost it back to Hogan, if I'm not mistaken. But I might be mistaken. I honestly can't remember that well. It was I'm gonna have to look that up now. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to look that up because I can't spread misinformation. This was, well, I guess it didn't matter because it was because he lost it because I think he got hurt. And then it ended up being the WWE Championship was up for grabs at the 92 Rumble, which is what Flair won. So Flair ended up being, it worked out. It worked out for what it was. It's just, to me, if this was the Undertaker's first reign and it wasn't going to be, I know that he was meant only to be a transitional champion. And to be fair, with the Undertaker at this point, with the mystique that you had built with him and the allure that you built with him, making him the world champion is a tough thing to do. in the same way that it was tough to put the belt on Strowman at one point. At one point, when he was really the monster and again really got over proper, and then they butchered that and botched that for whatever reason, and involved Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, I think, and then they all worked for Shane McMahon, and then it was Bobby Lashley involved? I don't remember. It was a jarbled mess. All I remember it being was a jarbled mess. But when Braun Strowman was at that popularity where he was really getting that big, or a better example is The Fiend. The worst thing that WWE could have possibly done was make The Fiend world champion the first time. I understand, Saudi Arabian Halloween, let's make the clown character win the world title. I'm not saying it was a good decision. I'm just saying that was their reasoning. They're like, okay. My thing is this. With a gimmick like that, where there's so much mystique and allure to the gimmick itself and the way it's being portrayed and who's portraying it and the captivating promos and the way that they talk and how that goes, if you put the world title on something that's supposed to have that level of mystique, eventually what winning the title means is that you eventually have to lose that title. And losing the title means that your mystique is diminished considerably because that's the way that it goes. And it's just, I personally think that The Undertaker in this instance, because they were trying to make it so that Flair screwed Hogan so that Hogan would have to get the comeback and win the world title from Flair. But then they did the thing with the Real World Championship and the Undertaker losing the belt. I think by technicality, I'm pretty sure, because they realized we can't keep the belt on Taker, even though it was good. Don't get me wrong, him having world titles was good. But at this moment in the Undertaker's career, and for what they were overall going for in matchups going down the road, and what we know about what became of those matches down the road, this feels a little bit overbooked, especially for the allure of somebody like The Undertaker really taking it to Hulk Hogan, a definitive win, not getting. I don't like the no sell of the Tombstone at all. I would have much rather him no sell a choke slam than no sell a Tombstone. That I think that diminished the Undertaker. I don't think that helped. I really think that this match with the Undertaker, if we're looking at it from a modern booking perspective and a modern smart perspective, this does nothing but hurt the Undertaker, I feel. I mean, yes, it's working with Hogan, which is huge. Working with Hogan and drawing the money with Hogan is huge. Don't get me wrong. But Hogan had to, in order to lose this belt, he had to have Flair involved. He had to have Paul Bearer get involved. And he had to no sell a Tombstone. The finishing movie had to no sell a Tombstone. I would have much rather enjoyed Hulk just getting the Tombstone, having the cover be made, and then him kicking out and doing the Hulk up, not no selling it all together. That just did not do it for me, especially because you were building up to the Undertaker getting off of his feet deal and getting him down to a knee. And I understand this because I'm doing the same thing with Jeff Cobb right now in ACPW, and I like that move, and I like the idea of that. But to have Hogan no sell the biggest offensive move that the Undertaker has, and have required him to do another one on a chair from a third party that was only somewhat in ways involved, even though despite his claims, I get why they did it because I know where they were trying to go with it, but I feel like it was still a bit overbooked and didn't accomplish as much what they were hoping to accomplish with this, if that makes sense. But enough about me. I'm going to now give Homeboy, Mr. I Want to Be a Co-Host, a text, and let's see where he's at. And while we do this, I'm going to ask this of my loyal fans out there. If there are any one of you who is an artist, who is a logo artist, I am looking for a redesign I'm looking for a redesign of the Core Martial Podcast logo. In some sort of artistic fashion, I want to be able to give you the credit for it, and I will do that when I put the videos together once I get my laptop back. And I will make sure that you get properly represented for presenting the CMP logo. It would really, really mean a lot to me. Reach out, and I'd be happy to work with you, talk about what we can do, and I'm willing to negotiate. We'll see what happens. But please, by all means, please, keep me posted and let me know. And without further ado, let's bring Sky into this equation. All right. Sir, speak if you so choose. He's connecting. Sir.
How you doing, my guy?
Ah, there you are, sir. Welcome.
Yeah. So, hold on. Can I just get in on this for a second?
On what?
So, come on. It's Hulk Hogan.
I know.
He's good.
I know it's Hulk Hogan. I know it's Hulk Hogan. But it's... But still... It's just...
But still nothing.
This made me watch... The inner smark in me got a little upset watching this match. It was fine. I have no major complaints, but it was... The smark in me was upset.
Because Undertaker did not look as strong as he possibly could have.
Yeah, exactly. I think that they could have done more for Undertaker and still had the same outcome without making Hogan look weak either. You could have still had Paul Bearer get involved and with all this, it's just, or just have Flair come in afterwards.
How did Hulk Hogan lose clean to the Ultimate Warrior?
Barely. Did you see how close the kick out was?
I know. I've seen it, but I'm just like, how did they convince Hulk Hogan to lose to the Warrior?
I'm sure that was Vince's decision.
I'm sure it's Vince's decision, but I'm sure Hulk would have kicked out of it and it could have turned into a shoot.
Well, I don't know. I think Hogan knew that.
What the hell do we do now that he kicked out?
I think that Hogan did realize the necessity for the right jobs at the right time. A lot of people say he didn't want to do jobs. I think that he just liked. So there was a lot of times that everything that he was doing. I mean, you got to admit, Hulk was the best draw. Period. And there was a lot of times.
Just because you're the biggest draw does not mean that you shouldn't lose. Because when you lose, it can help make other people draws, and you can do rematches, and that will draw even more money.
Well, but I also think that a big part of why Hogan lost the popularity he lost was Vince's fault as well. Because Vince continued to book him to win over and over and over and over again. And you look
and not changing his character by keeping him as the American hero for 10 years.
And hey, but for a good 8 of those years, it worked.
I would say 6.
It was, but I don't think enough credit.
By year
the truth, though,
year 7, it was starting to get tired.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting to here. Is 91, so it was like it was starting to fizzle in 91, especially with Flair coming in, especially with Brett slowly making his way up the card. The matches that him and Michaels were going to have that year in 92 that were actually quite good. What Shawn Michaels would end up being.
Hart, there was Michaels, there was Flair. Who else? I mean, Macho Man was still around, but...
Yeah, but his time was coming to a close as well. So, like, it's what puts this match in a vacuum, and why, with a dwindling popularity of Hogan, I feel like putting everything up and a bag of bricks against Hogan for him to lose just does not help a younger guy like Taker, who even in winning felt slightly diminished than what he perhaps should have been.
Right, because he didn't win on his own, and he didn't win with his own manager. He had to get help from another person.
Yeah, and I mean, of all people to help, because Flair had his own motives for that, it is Ric Flair. I mean, after all, it is Ric Flair. It's not like Repo Man came to make the save. It's not like Papa Shango came to make the save. So,
okay, rebook that match, but have the Mountie come in and screw Hulk Hogan.
in all fairness,
evil Canadian.
In all fairness to Flair, it is Ric Flair. So I can't knock
yes.
a run-in by a guy like Ric Flair.
It could have been the Mountie. It could have been the Brooklyn Brawler.
Yeah, it could have been many worse options than that. You know, I guess, see, right. It's the smart in me. It's the guy who thinks he knows what he's talking about. So, Sky, the reason you were on this show is that you had a main event that WWE stole that we're going to have to talk about on the Totally Awesome podcast when we do our Survivor Series review.
And did you explain why we're not doing it this week?
Yes. I explained that we are doing a different show instead that is going to be a different take on different things, Survivor Series, and we are going to do the full-fledged review with Josh again next week on the Totally Awesome podcast, and there will be a link in our description for that podcast, which you could check out, and we will be sharing all of that great information. But now we have to share...
Like we tried to do it this week, but Thanksgiving kind of got in the way of all our plans.
Yeah, we have not collectively watched it yet, so we got to watch it first. So
right now, here's the thing: tell the people what you watched last night and what made you turn off the show.
So I have not gone that far. I have not gone that far into this show. All I got to.
No. You thought okay. So Sean tried to watch Survivor Series, and he saw Seth Rollins give up immediately. 10 seconds into the match, he's like, "Nope."
Well. Done. There were two things about it. First of all, I was extremely tired from a very long day as it was on Monday, but I watched it. I started watching the match, and then I just saw the whole thing of like, this is the way, this is the way, kick me, Sheamus, okay, I'm out. Why? 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 All I want to say is why.
I wish we got the finger poke of doom.
This was. I would have preferred the finger poke of doom, because the finger poke of doom was just people being goofs, but they were real people being real goofs. This is just so staged goof, and there's nothing worse than staged goof. It's
Agreed.
It's
I'm with Sean right now. I'll be done in like 10 minutes.
But we've got an explanation here, because the main event, or not the main event, because I guess the Undertaker closed, but the championship main event of Survivor Series, we at NWL, Sky at NWL, had previously booked and was going to recite before the show, but thanks to our live stream kicking out, we did not get the chance to review it. So, Sky, the better main event, the one that we have not seen what WWE has come back with yet. So you are still firing the first volley. Take it away, your main event from Wrestle Festival.
I would like to think that what happened was that we got kicked off the air because we ran over our time.
I think that, honestly, Kevin Dunn was watching and did not want you giving away anything that he might have taken.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, after hearing what they have for that match, I'm going to say mine's better. But it's expected.
That's okay. Anyways, we are anticipating that.
So last week were Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. They did a couple of things to each other, but they were pretty much standing equal. And then Drew McIntyre got a headlock because Roman Reigns in a headlock for the past 3 days.
Wow. That's a long headlock. That's a really long headlock.
It's a Triple H headlock.
3 days. A 3 days long headlock. That is a Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle long headlock.
No, that's a Triple H Shawn Michaels.
Or Shawn Michaels versus Randy Orton back when he couldn't use the Sweet Chin music. I forget what pay-per-view in 2007 that was.
I'd have to look back.
I'd have to look it up.
Anyways, Drew McIntyre has Roman in the headlock, and we are 26 minutes away from the finish of this match. So we're 4 minutes in.
Okay.
Roman finally shoves off Drew McIntyre. And then Roman starts taking advantage and starts putting the boots to Drew McIntyre. He does this for several minutes. And he's starting to get frustrated because he does his clotheslines in the corner bit. He does his continuous mounted punches over Drew McIntyre. And he goes for pins, and he can't get the pin. And you can clearly see the frustration in Roman's face. He eventually gets Drew McIntyre down on the lowest rope, and he's about to go for the drive-by. And as he goes for the drive-by, Drew McIntyre wakes up, dodges it. Roman tries to get back on the top rope, and Drew McIntyre throws a solid uppercut punch at Roman. Roman has to go down, and Drew, he goes off the ropes. He comes back, and he does a baseball slide into Roman. Throws Roman into the ring, gets to the corner, waits for Roman to turn around. Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore kick. One Claymore kick. Cover. 1, 2, and 3. But this is not the end of the match. It is only the first point for Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
We are 9 minutes in, and it's Drew McIntyre 1, and Roman Reigns 0.
10.
Now, we get 30 seconds of a refresh time so that both guys get a timeout. As Roman is coming to, he looks angry at himself because he knows he's just lost the advantage that he had. So the bell rings. Both of them lock up again, and Roman's more aggressive. And you notice that Roman's starting to do a little bit more heelish tactic. So he goes for a headlock on Drew McIntyre, and he takes his forearm and he rubs it against the side of Drew McIntyre. And then he puts him down on the ropes and starts stomping on him. The referee counts 1, 2, 3, 4. Roman finally gets off using the full 4 counts, using stomps. He picks up Drew McIntyre, slams him down, picks him up again, a second slam, picks him up again, a third slam. And Roman goes for the cover. 1, 2, kick out by Drew. We're 12 minutes in, and Roman cannot get a pin.
Are you trying to rhyme deliberately, sir?
Huh?
Are you trying to rhyme deliberately? Because you just did 2.
No, it's happening on the spot.
It's happening all in real time, ladies and gentlemen. These rhymes are happening on time. I'm just wanting to make sure everyone knows the rhymes on time. Continue.
Thank you. So Roman decides that he has had enough of this. He throws Drew McIntyre outside of the ring. And Roman goes to the other side of the ring. And he's looking at himself. And you can see it stir in Roman. He charges from one half of the ring to the other half of the outside ring. And he goes for the spear on McIntyre. But McIntyre gets a knee up on Roman, stopping the spear. And Drew McIntyre and Roman start brawling with each other. The referees count us at 4, at 5, at 6. Roman and Drew McIntyre go over the barricade by the bell. At 7, at 8, at 9, at 10. Both men are counted out, so they each get a point.
Okay.
So Drew McIntyre 2, Roman Reigns 1 with 15 minutes to go.
Okay. I dig that. Interesting call. Continue.
So Roman hears that the call has 2 to 1, and he gets more angry and more frustrated. So finally, he grabs the bell, and he hits Drew McIntyre in the head. And the referee immediately goes to the bell, and Drew McIntyre now gets a 3rd point. But Roman Reigns is furious and continuously hits the bell on Drew McIntyre. The referee finally gets the bell off of Roman. Roman looks angry at the referee and says that he needs to just do his job and don't interfere, or he's going to make sure he doesn't have a job. So Roman gets back into the ring, and he tells the referee to get back into the ring and start counting. Drew McIntyre, you see his face, but he has got the crimson mask, because when he took that first bell shot off the head, he started bleeding. So the referee has no choice. 1, 2, 3, Drew McIntyre is crawling to the ring apron. 5, 6, 7, 8. Drew McIntyre is almost into the ring. 9, 10. He's been counted out. 3-2 Drew McIntyre.
All right.
Drew gets into the ring, and the referee asks Drew if he can continue. And Drew says, yes, he can continue. So we get the timeout recess. After Drew McIntyre gets back on his feet, he goes over and starts walking towards Roman. But Roman, with a spear to Drew McIntyre, cover. 1, 2, 3. Both men are tied now at 3 each.
How much time's left?
We got 10 minutes left.
10 minutes left. Oh, boy.
Now, you notice that Roman Reigns was losing and had to resort to using the bell.
Yes.
And hitting Drew McIntyre over the head with it.
Yes.
It cost him a point, but it got him 2. But that's not a babyface thing, is it?
No.
No, it is not. And now Roman Reigns is a desperate man because he knows that a tied score does not help him because it will go to sudden death. So, Roman starts aggressively working on Drew McIntyre's head. And then he continuously hits at the spot where he hit him with the bell. And more blood is gushing out for Drew McIntyre. He is just a mess at this point. Finally, he sets up for the drive-by. And he goes and he hits it. And Roman, for the first time after hitting the drive-by, starts smiling. Because you know that he is in the driver's seat. He goes for the pin. He's a little bit lackadaisical when he goes for the pin. He doesn't get the full chest-to-chest cover. Referee starts counting. 1, 2, kick out by Drew McIntyre.
Pop! What a pop!
8 minutes to go, and Roman Reigns, now he's serious. He throws Drew into the corner, starts throwing punches at Drew McIntyre. And he goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 punches. But the referee is telling him to get off of Drew. Roman looks at the referee again, and he says, that's strike 2. You do it one more time, I'm going to hit you in the head. Drew and Roman throws Drew McIntyre across the ring. He picks him up again, throws him with another beetle across the ring. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, kick out by Drew McIntyre. 7 minutes to go. Roman realizes he doesn't have much time, so he puts Drew in the middle of the ring and gets the choke on him, the bully choke, and tries to get Drew McIntyre to tap out. And Drew McIntyre is in pain, in frustration, but he will not tap out. He crawls. He finally makes it to the bottom rope and gets the break. The referee tells Roman to get off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Finally, Roman gets off, and he's had enough of the referee. He grabs him and throws him over the top rope. 6 minutes to go.
What disrespect. What disrespect.
Roman frustrated Drew McIntyre, and the cameras pick this up clearly. Roman asked Drew, stay down. Stay down, you son of a bitch. But Roman, the wheels are turning, and he realizes he just took out the referee, so he can use anything he wants. He goes back to ringside, grabs a chair. He's going to use the chair on Drew McIntyre. He goes back into the ring with the chair, hits the ground with the chair, and asks Drew McIntyre to get up. Get up! Drew McIntyre uses the ropes to get up to his feet. Roman swings the chair, but the chair bounces off the rope because Drew McIntyre dodged it, and it hits Roman in the head on the ricochet. And Drew McIntyre bounces off the ropes, hits the Claymore kick on Roman, goes for the cover. The fans count 1, 2, 3.
But there's nobody there!
The referee is not there. And Drew asked for a second referee. A second referee comes down to
Charles Robinson, specifically Charles Robinson,
yes,
because
Charles
he sprints.
Robinson.
He sprints
Charles
like a
Robinson
madman.
makes his run. He makes his run. 1, 2, kick out by Roman. And the crowd is on their seats, at the edge of their seats. Roman and Drew McIntyre have 4 minutes to go, tied 3-3. So now the wheels are turning in the head of Drew McIntyre. Roman is laying on the bottom rope of the ring apron. and Drew McIntyre strolls outside the ring. He does this little thing where he taps his leg. He goes over, and he does the drive-by on Roman. And Drew McIntyre back into the ring. Cover. 1, 2. Kick out by Roman.
Damn.
Drew couldn't even get the pin with Roman's own move.
Brutal.
Now, Drew McIntyre, the wheels are turning in his head. What does he got to do?
What do I have to do?
So he gets him in a cloverleaf, a Texas cloverleaf, because he wants to make Roman tap out. Roman is in pain, in frustration. He can't do it. And the referee, Charles Robinson, is looking at Roman, asking, do you want to tap out? Do you want to tap out? Roman, in frustration, grabs Charles Robinson and throws him into Drew McIntyre. And it finally lets go. So Roman, using the referee to his advantage.
Referees are not weapons, Roman.
But he's using them as weapons.
But they are not weapons. They are paid officials. That's referee harassment.
Roman Reigns does not give a damn. We are 2 minutes away from the finish, and neither of these men can seem to get the edge. Roman Reigns finally gets up, and he realizes that Drew McIntyre's down. He goes across to the side of the ring. Superman punch, but no referee's going to count it. So he goes back to the ring corner, and he goes for the spear, and he hits the spear. But again, there's no referee. So Roman decides that he's going to do something even better. He starts taking his pant leg, and he starts rolling it up. He asks for Drew McIntyre to get up. Get up. Get up. He goes for the Claymore kick, but Drew McIntyre dodges it. Roman turns around. Drew McIntyre off the ropes with his own Claymore kick. Cover, and there's still no referee. The one that was thrown outside the ring finally gets back in, and he picks for the cut. 1, 2, no. Roman kicks out again.
Wow.
1 minute to go. And both of these men, they're desperate. They've used every move in their arsenal. Both of these men are looking at each other, standing up. You can see the intensity in their eyes. They start throwing punches at each other. Punch after punch after punch. With 30 seconds to go, Roman grabs Drew McIntyre to go for a powerbomb. Drew gets out of it. He counters it into a backslide. 1, 2, no kick out. Drew McIntyre and Roman bounce off the ropes. Roman goes for the spear, but Drew hits him in the head with a knee again. Goes off the ropes again with a spear by Drew McIntyre. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre gets the 4th count. There's 5 seconds to go. And it's over. Drew McIntyre retains.
Wow.
4-3 over Roman Reigns.
Wow. An Olympian effort by Drew McIntyre throughout this entire series to hold on to that heavyweight championship belt.
And you can see Drew McIntyre hold the championship above his head. You can see the crimson mask, but he wipes off the blood. But Drew McIntyre is still your champion.
Wow. That's pretty ridiculous. That's a well-deserved win.
Now, how did you feel about the way I booked Roman?
Good. I think all of that was fine. It's just a personal preference of mine. I don't mind people doing it, but I really am not a big fan of the ricocheting the chair into the face. I think some people can pull it off and others can't. I don't see Roman being able to pull that off well because I don't think he oversells like that. But
right, it would need to be like Kyle O'Reilly when he did it,
or Kurt Angle, or
right.
Mr. Perfect, or one of these guys who's really adept at being the heel that can oversell the mistake or the babyface move.
Well, the idea is that Roman has so much power behind him that when he hits the ricochet, it hurts him a lot.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm with that. And again, this is just a personal preference of mine. But I like everything else. I mean, I think it books him well. It still keeps Drew it's funny because you were able to turn Roman mid match pretty much, which is a good way to work it through. And I think that Drew staying on top makes the matchup for the NWL World title next time that much more interesting.
Now, I'm going to say something I never thought I would say before. I took a hint from AEW and Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin, how Cody turned not this heel mid-match and started working more vicious.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I needed to do more because Cody, for me, didn't do enough. So Roman, he went the extra mile. He hit Drew McIntyre in the head with the ring bell.
Fair.
He tried to use a chair. He did multiple ref bumps, and if he didn't get what he wanted.
Yeah, it was definitely an act of desperation, but it was still all of his own. There was no cheating involved, other than Roman himself. Which
exactly,
there was nothing outside. And it makes me interesting because it's funny you say that you took a page out of AEW, because for one of my feuds, I also took a page from AEW, but I'm reworking it and doing it better. All I'm gonna give
exactly.
The only hint I'm gonna give you for what one it is. Do you want to guess which one it is before I give you a hint?
It has to be the Jeff Cobb and Brian Cage one.
It is not, actually.
Okay. Is it Cody and MJF?
It is Cody and MJF. I am doing it, but doing it better.
I will not ask for anything else because I want to be surprised.
Okay, that's fair enough. What do you think's going to happen with Cody and MJF when they face each other in a last man standing? I promise I won't take any of your ideas because I already have it booked.
You have Cody starting to work heel, and you have MJF potentially being a babyface. You're going to tease something with MJF, but I'm not sure what it is.
Okay.
I want to see what happens because I can't guess right now.
I like that. I like the fact that I haven't quite given you enough to pull the trigger on being able to make an informed guess.
Right.
I do like that.
I just know you're going to do something with one of them, but I'm not sure what you're going to do.
It's going to be, if it goes the way I'm hoping it goes, which I think it will. I think the way that I've framed it is it's really going to work. It will be, I will have to kind of take my hat off in respect for it actually pulling off. And I don't know, I think it would for the two of them, but there's no way to tell until we actually get to it. But we got a little bit of time before we get to that. So, Sky, thank you very much.
You know what my one disappointment was with this match with Roman and Drew?
What?
I had to do a heel turn for Roman because I couldn't book face versus face.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's very difficult because unless... And the problem is that they're both the same type of face. They're this overwhelming, strong, badass type.
Yeah, at least the way that you've built them up to this point.
Exactly. So if I was to do that thing where I wanted both of them to go against each other, it would hurt the loser.
Yeah.
Because they got beat by a better version of their character.
Yeah. And
plus, of the two, Roman's the one who's a better heel, as evidenced by what he's been doing the last few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I still think there's something...
And one last thing. In my universe, Roman is the number 2.
That's right. That's right. No head of the table there. And
yep.
Well,
you don't know that joke, do you?
Well, I maybe.
So on their contract signing, the SmackDown before their Survivor Series match, Roman Reigns called Drew McIntyre his favorite number 2.
Oh, I don't pay attention to the shows, man. I need to watch.
I do. So you know what Roman's implying, right?
Yes, I do understand what Roman's implying, and we're gonna leave it at that. And now I'm gonna have to go and watch all this. So, Sky, thank you very much for hopping on.
You have to watch it number 2.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm not that far into the show yet, so let's see what happens. But Sky, thank you once again for hopping on the show and finishing up your NWL, and hopefully we will have a full edition of that next time, the proper way.
Well, thank you, my man. I will see all of you for the Survivor Series review when me, Joshua, and Sean finally watch the show. And then I look forward to doing this again, NWL versus ACPW, Winter Warcraft.
In December.
And I have a name for my pay-per-view.
Let's hear it.
Let's see here. Actually, no. I'm gonna keep it to myself.
What he's not telling you is he just looked up at a name generator and he's trying to type it out as we speak. But in any case,
I will review it on TAW Gaming.
There you go.
Leave something select for them.
There you go. So stay tuned for the TAW Totally Awesome Podcast Survivor Series review. Stay tuned for that, and for this Friday live stream 8:00. Be there. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.
After our commercial break.